we are live, baby. We are live. How y'all doing? YouTube, it's your boy Bolo V&R. We in the goddamn building. Yes, sir. What's going on with my ish? Wait a minute. Wow, something ain't right, y'all. Something ain't right. Something just ain't right. Something ain't right, y'all. Hold up. Yo, mic check. All right. So mic check working. What happened to my headphones now? What's going on with my headphones? Okay. All right. So I'm still on the Garvey marathon. All right. I ain't gonna waste no time. I just ask that when you come in, please smash the like button. We got Kayon. Hey, how you doing, Kayon? Salute to you, sweetie. Good to see you in the chat. Yes, Lord. So good to see you. I am doing great. Miss Collins, how you doing, beautiful? What's going on with you? Sweetie pie? All right, so let me go here. I won't be able to see my chat, so I gotta have my chat over there, because I'm gonna be sharing my screen and I'm gonna be going into Marcus Garvey, the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. Yeah, this might take me two or three tries, but I'm gonna try and get through as much as I can with, understanding and context. And I know these types of streams are not very entertaining. Deja vu, salute. But I just believe what Marcus Garvey stood for and his philosophies and opinions are that important to actually document on my platform, because I hold Marcus Garvey in very, very high regard. You understand what I'm saying? For what he did for our people, right? So, yeah. Shout out to Marcus Garvey. Happy birthday. Like I said, there is a celebration that happens every year at IREFM in Ocherius every single year. All right, I'm talking about big celebration. I'm talking about people come from the day before, set up their tents along the road, and there's police like crazy. I'm talking about, this event is no joke. Thousands of people every single year. So, man, I'm happy that, IREFM, or the individuals that work at IREFM, partnering with IREFM, actually keeps this going, because it's healthy. Marcus Garvey is that important to our culture. He's that important to us. He's that important to me, personally. You know what I'm saying? What he stood for, right? Yeah. So I really appreciate that they did that. But before I get into that, let me go here real quick. Hey, it's your brother Bolo V&R. This is the 2.0 channel, backup channel, and I would like you to remember that you have Bolo V&R and Bolo V&R clips. Subscribe to all my channels if you're not yet subscribed, and join the family. Hey, it's your brother Bolo V&R. This is the 2.0 channel, backup channel, and I would like you to remember that you have Bolo V&R and Bolo V&R clips. Subscribe to all my channels if you're not yet subscribed, and join the family. With the content, please do remember to like, share the content. Get the message out there. It's the best way, because we're really sending a serious message on this platform that I think everybody needs to hear. Now, with that said, I do also want to encourage you to understand that we have digital ways that you can support the channel, which is not mandatory, which you will find in the links of the platform. All right. We talk about sports. We talk about politics. We talk about various topics on this platform. We're not limited, and we're only standing on the truth. I am not tied to any political party, whether it's Democrat, Republican, GOP, or PNP. Please understand this. If the truth applies to one, it applies to the next. What is observed will be expressed. All right? So, just to be clear on that. Now, as of the monetary situation, we have the PayPal, and we have the anonymous link, which is still PayPal, and we also have Zelle. If you send a Zelle, you'd have to send me an email, a WhatsApp message with the receipt, or on Instagram. And of course, definitely follow me on Instagram as well. I like to interact with the people. And with the content there that you're about to see, I do encourage you to state your opinions respectfully in the comment section for or against my argument. And I'm definitely open to critique and correction. So if I was in error in any way, please do correct me. Thank you very much. Let's get into the content. Okay, I'm back. I am back, y'all. Give me a sec. Thank you for your patience. I don't know how long the video ended, the intro video ended, but yeah. Thank you for your patience. All right, y'all greeting each other. Nice, nice, nice. Showing love. That's what's up. Yep, and we are back. All right, man. Let me share my screen. Yeah, let me share my screen. Before I share my screen, I'm gonna downsize myself. I don't want my I don't want me to be in the way of the text. So let me downsize myself a bit, make myself as small as possible in this corner right here. There you go. There you go. And we go bam like that, and then we go bam like this. The philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. All right. I ain't gonna go through no preface. Chapter 1. History in the landmark by which we are directed into the true course of life. The history of a movement, the history of a nation, the history of a race is the guidepost of that movement's destination. The nation's destiny, the race destiny. Now let me read that again. The history of a movement, the history of a nation, the history of a race is the guidepost of that movement's destiny. That nation's destiny and that race's destiny. So he's saying that the history of the movement or of the nation is like the foundation, is that column that holds up the building. You know what I'm saying? That holds up the race. What you do today that is worthwhile inspires others to act at some future time. I'm going to say that again. What you do today, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. What you do today that is worthwhile, key, that is worthwhile. How are we using our time? Right? Is the stuff you're doing not worthwhile? Is it unnecessary? Is it necessary? Is it helping to create generational wealth? Is it helping to secure the future of your children, your children's children, and so on and so forth? So what you do today that is worthwhile inspires others to act at some future time. So this is the mindset of this brother, Mr. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He said, chance has never yet satisfied the hope of suffering people. I'm going to say that again. Chance has never yet satisfied the hope of a suffering people. Chance. Like leaving things to chance. He says action, self-reliance, the vision of self, the future. All right. Can I oh yeah, there we go. I'm gonna highlight it for y'all. Action, self-reliance, the vision of self, and the future have been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of their own freedom. So you can't leave anything to chance. You gotta be action-based. This is a part of the philosophies and opinions of Mosiah Garvey. You gotta have vision of self. You gotta see yourself in that place where you are elevated, where you are free, where you are prosperous, where your kids are prosperous. You're looking at your grandkids. You gotta visualize all that. Right? It's got to be in the mind first. He says the future have been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of their own freedom. Life. He says life is that existence that is given to man to live for a purpose. For what? A purpose. To live his own satisfaction and pleasure, providing he forgets not God who created him and who expects a spiritual obedience and observation of moral laws that he has inspired. Basically, there's no life without God. Yes, you are free to satisfy yourself, pleasure yourself, right? Providing that you don't forget about the codes, the laws of God. This is the opinions of Mosiah Garvey. He says there is nothing in the world common to man that man cannot do. Right? The ends you serve that are selfish will take you no further than yourself. I'll say that again. The ends you serve that are selfish will no longer. No, he said this. The ends you serve that are selfish will take you no further than yourself. But the ends you serve that are for all in common will take you even into eternity. I'm always talking about the collective. Alright? I'm always talking about how things affect everybody. This is why I do the content I do about the leaders of our country. The moment I realized that their actions affect us in a way, I said, wow, I can't just, you know what I'm saying, not say anything. Right? And give my opinion. And hopefully, you know, it reaches enough people that it needs to reach, or it reaches the people it needs to reach, so we can have real change. So what I'm doing on here is not just for me. It's really this is my legacy. This is what I'm doing right here is part of my legacy. It's a big part of my legacy. This is my philosophies and opinions I'm leaving on this platform. That's why I'm very serious about it. Right? So he says, it's only the belief and the confidence we have in God why man is able to understand his own social institutions and move and live like a rational human being. He says it's only the belief and the confidence we have in God why man is able to understand his own social institutions and move and live like a rational human being. To his point, can you imagine if God was not in the consciousness of man? Can you imagine how cruel and vicious all men would be? Just imagine the world without a consciousness of right or wrong, and anything goes. Just imagine that for a second. Ladies, I'm sure you're already scared because physically, you're at a disadvantage. The same men that would be protecting you would be taking full advantage of y'all. I'm talking about it would be ugly. Right? He said, take away the highest ideal, faith, confidence in God, and mankind at large is reduced to savagery and the race destroyed. These are facts. These are facts. Total chaos, Miss Collins. He says a race without authority and power is a race without respect. The next opinion, criticism. He says criticism is an opinion for good or ill, generally indulged in by the fellow who knows more than anyone else, yet the biggest fool. Damn. He said criticism is generally indulged in by the fool who knows more than anyone else, yet the biggest fool. The fellow who knows more than anyone else but the biggest fool. Boy, he ain't never lied, boy. He ain't never lied. You know those people that act like they can't learn nothing from nobody? Like they just know everything? Yeah, that's who we talking about. That's what we talking about. He said, criticism is an opinion. No, there is no criticism that calls not forth yet another. There is no criticism that calls not forth yet another. The last critic is the biggest fool of all. The world starts and ends with him. He is the source of all knowledge, yet knows nothing. But there is not a word one finds to use that there is not another that hath the same meaning. Then wherefore do we criticize? Damn. Next page. He said fear. Fear is a state of nervousness fit for children, not men. When man fears a creature like himself, he offends God. Oh my goodness. I want all of my people in Jamaica to hear that. Everybody in Jamaica, fear is a state of nervousness fit for children, not men. When man fears a creature like himself, he offends God. All right? In whose image and likeness he is created. Boy, that's powerful. So y'all out here fearing Mr. Andrew Holness. Y'all out here fearing, what, 10% of the world population? That is the elites. That's what y'all fearing. Disrespectful. That is offensive to God. That is facts. That's facts, deja vu. Man being created equally fears not man but God. To fear is to lose control of one's nerves, one's will, to flutter. Like a dying fowl losing consciousness, yet alive. Like a dying fowl losing consciousness and yet alive. Right? So you alive, but you in a state of death. Right? In your mind. You already dead if you fear another man. Come on now. Talk to him, Marcus Garvey. The legend, the honorable. He said, ambition is the desire to go forward and improve one's condition. It is a burning flame. It is a burning flame that lights up the life of the individual and makes him see himself in another state. To be ambitious is to be great in mind and soul, to want that which is worthwhile and strive for it, and to go on without looking back, reaching to that which gives satisfaction. To be humanly ambitious is to take in the world, which is the province of man. To be divinely ambitious is to offend God. He said to be divinely ambitious is to offend God by rivaling him in his infinite majesty. Okay. That divinely ambitious, that's different. Worldly ambition, yeah, I got it. Right here it says admiration is a form of appreciation that is sometimes mistaken for someone else. Admiration is a form of appreciation that is sometimes mistaken for someone else. There may be something about you that suggests good fellowship when kept at a distance, but in closer contact would not be tolerated. Otherwise, it would be love. Damn. So yeah, they got this saying in Jamaica where, like you would be like with a girl, you don't really know a person until they live with them. So you got admiration for this person, you like this person or whatever, you think this person a great person, but when you that from a distance, that's cool, but when you get closer, there's a difference. Like it's like, wow, that's what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Now he goes to religion. He said religion is one's opinion and belief in some ethical truth. To be a Christian is to have the religion of Christ. And so to be a believer of Muhammad is to be a Mohammedan. But there are so many religions that every man seems to be a religion unto himself. No two persons think alike, even if they outwardly profess the same faith. So we have as many religions in Christianity as we have believers. That really puts religion into context. It really, really does. Because everybody in a religious space thinks that their religion is the right religion. And even in that religious space of Christianity, there is sectors of Christianity. You got the Seventh-day Adventists, you got this person, that, you know what I'm saying? So that puts it in real context. He said, now he's talking about death. Wait a minute, my camera must have got messed up. I just shaped it a while ago. Let me check on my camera real quick. All right, am I good? Okay, I'm good. Shout out to the 5 people watching. Y'all remember to hit the like button. He said, death is, I know, right, Miss Collins? He says, death is the end of all life in the individual or the thing. If physical, they crumble of the body into dust from whence it came. He who lives not uprightly dies completely in the crumbling of the physical body. But he who lives well transforms himself from that which is mortal to immortal. Pretty much saying what the Bible says. If you go on the path of righteousness, then you will only experience the death of physical, not the spiritual. Pretty much what he's saying there. Faithfulness is octated. Is that octated? Faithfulness is octated. Yo, I ain't gonna act like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we got Google for a reason. The first time I've seen that word. Hell no. Yeah, listen. It means octated. It means cause to operate a machine or device. The pendulum octated an electric switch. Cause to act in a particular way. Okay. Motivate. Okay. He says faithfulness is octated by a state of heart, mind in the individual that changes not. So for you to have faith activated within you, your heart and your mind does not change from whence you believe. Not one is wholly faithful to cause or an object. Expect his heart and mind remain firm without change or doubt. See? Let me say that again. No one is wholly faithful to a cause or an object, except his heart and mind remain firm without change or doubt. If one's attitude or conduct changes towards an object, then one has lost in one's faithfulness. It is holiness of belief overshadows all doubt, admitting of no question, to serve without regret or disgust, to obligate oneself to that which is promised or expected, to keep to our word and do our duty well. There are but few faithful people nowadays. Boy, he ain't lying. Shout out to Melly Mel in the building. What's going on with you, bro? Ski. Salute. He ain't lying about that. Only a few faithful people, boy. Whether you're looking for a wife or otherwise, only a few. Just a few. Oh, and for those that are coming in, these are the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey that I'm actually reading right now. Like I said, Marcus Garvey, yesterday was his birthday. Today there's a big celebration in Ocho Rios at Irie FM. Big celebration over there. All right? Trust me, that's going to be a festivity, boy. Lord have mercy. It says here prohibition. Prohibition or prohibition is to abstain from intoxicating liquor. Oh, abstain from intoxicating liquor. Okay. As it makes us morbid and sometimes drunk. Man, listen. We all need to hear this. Trust me. I've been staying away from it for the most part for the last 7 months, 6 months, and I felt a big difference. So shit, it is what it is. But we get drunk every day nevertheless. Not so much by strength of what we sip from the cup, but that which we eat. Damn! The water we drink and the air we inhale, which at fermentation conspire at eventide to make us so drunk and tired that we lose control of ourselves and fall asleep. Everybody is a drunkard. And if we were to enforce real prohibition, we shall all be dead. Damn. Yo, that's deep. Nah, that's deep. That's deep. So we all drunk from what we eat, water we drink. So basically, I think he's saying that everybody goes overboard with the things that we partake in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody goes overboard. It says there is no strength but that which is destructive, because men have lost his virtue and only respect force. Damn. Which he himself cannot counteract. This is the day of racial activity, when each and every group of this great human family must exercise its own initiative and influence in its own protection. Therefore, Negroes shall be more determined today than they have ever been, because the mighty force of the world are operated against non-organized groups of people who are not ambitious enough to protect their own interests. Damn. Oh, he really getting into it. You got to understand, Marcus Garvey was talking to the people, African people, all around the world. He said, wake up Ethiopia, wake up Africa. Let us work towards one glorious end of a free, redeemed, and mighty nation. Let Africa be a bright star among the constellations of nations. A man's bread and butter is only insured when he works for it. Facts. The world has now reached a stage when humanity is really at the parting of ways. The parting of the ways. It is the question of man's mind. Man, mind thyself. Shit, that was a tongue tie right there. The politics readjustment of the world means that those who are not sufficiently able, not sufficiently prepared, will be at the mercy of the organized classes for another 100 to 200 years. Boy, he ain't never lied. What is going on right now, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on right now? Because of us not being organized, right now we are in that same state he's talking about. All right, those who are not sufficiently able, or those who are not sufficiently prepared, we are those people that are at the mercy. And when I come on here and I talk about us uniting and really coming together and securing, and you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. Because I'm looking at the future, just like what Marcus Garvey is saying. Yo, we are at the bottom of the totem pole, y'all. Seriously. And being friends or being cool with everybody is not going to get us the respect in the... They're not going to give you their wealth, basically. We can be friends, You can come over, you know what I'm saying, to the party sometimes, but I'm not going to give you my wealth that my family left me. I'm not going to give you the type of access that's going to make you more powerful than me. We got to work for that. They don't even want to give us reparations. I'm just saying, come on, man. They give everybody else something but our people. Think about that. Think about it. So, you know, he was warning us for a long time. We didn't listen. The only protection against injustice in man is power, physical, financial, and scientific. God damn. I'm going to read that again. The only protection against injustice in man is power, right? That's the only protection against injustice. Power, physical power, financial power, and scientific power. If our race does not have those powers, we will forever be at the mercy of the elite. Physical power, that means you're armed. You got your army. You understand what I'm saying? You got defenses. Financial power, money. All right? Gotta have that. Assets. All right? Generational wealth, land, resources, scientific power, technology, all of that. Right? Medicine, all of that. Man, Marcus Garvey was on the money, but boy, listen. The masses make the nations and the race. And if you think race is not a thing, please go rethink life. As much as they say, stop talking about race, race is always going to be a thing. All right? As long as you got elites and classism, there's racism. I'm telling y'all, this is the reality of life. The kumbaya thing, that's the Matrix. Alright? That's the feel-good stuff. You know that dude in the Matrix where he's like, he sold out Neo and them, and he's like, all he wants is to be on a beach somewhere. He knows he's going to be in a dream, but he don't care. He'd rather live in a false reality than face the truth to the world. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people like that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, whoa. He says, to make the masses make the nation and the race. The masses are illiterate. That is the judgment passed on the race by those who are critical of its existence. He's talking about us. They call us illiterate. They call us lesser than a man. They see us in a certain type of way in this time, and there's some people from that remnant of belief still walking around right now, right? Some of them are elites. The function of the press is public service without prejudice and partiality, to convey the truth as it is seen and understood without favoritism or bias. That's where I come in. I'm a part of the press. I'm a part of public service. That I'm supposed to deliver what is happening, especially when it comes on to politics and those things, and tell the truth as seen and understood without favoritism or bias. Yo, I'm a screenshot this. I'm a screenshot this. Yeah, I'm a screenshot this. Hell yeah. I'm a screenshot this. That needs to be that needs to be said and really, you know what I'm saying? It says education is the medium by which people are prepared for creation of their own particular civilization and the advancement and glory of their own race. So education is the medium which people are prepared for creation of their own particular civilization and the advancement and glory of their own race. Nationhood is the only means by which modern civilization can completely protect itself. Independence of nationality, independence of government, is the means of protecting not only the individual but the group. Nationhood is the highest ideal of all peoples. A nation united. All right? Think about that. That's facts. That's facts. The evolutionary scale that weighs nations and races balance alike for all peoples. Hence we feel that somebody, the balance will register a change. The evolutionary scale that weighs nations and races balances alike for all people. Hence we feel sure that someday the balance will register a change for the Negro. Yeah, because at that time, which is a little bit different from now, but not that different, you know, the discrimination and all that stuff, not seen as a human being, being treated like a dog. I mean, come on now. Soldiers were fighting overseas, but they didn't see them as equals. I mean, hey. So he basically is saying that the evolution of thought and everything, someday the balance will register a change for the Negro. If we are to believe the divine injunction, we must realize that the time is coming when every man and every race must return to his own vine and fig tree. Come on, man. Come on. A lot of people don't want to hear this. A lot of people don't want to hear this. A lot of people have gotten comfortable in the places where the colonial masters have brought us. We don't want to hear about, man, nobody, you know how much black people don't even want to associate themselves with Africa? You hear what Marcus Garvey just said? If we are to believe the divine injunction, we must realize that the time is coming when every man and every race must return to his own vine and fig tree. All right? Let Africa be our guiding star, our star of destiny. Our destiny is to go back to Africa. I don't know why people don't want to go back. I guess they're not educated. I'm not saying it's peaches and cream. Hell no, they definitely got their problems. But the problems that they got is mostly because of outsiders. Outsiders that want to control the resources. Right? A lot of different countries around the world got their hands in Africa because Africa is rich in so much. But what if we could move those forces out of Africa and live in our own vices, like the president of Burkina Faso, what he did, kicking out the French, like that, and how he's empowering his people. They're about to build a railroad right through that bugger. That's gonna change the game. Yeah, it's because of the miseducation on television. That's true. That's true. So many of us find excuses to get out of the Negro race. Man, Marcus Garvey, salute to you, man, the legend. I was just saying this to Double Speaks. I said it seems like, you know what I'm saying? I said it seems like our people want to be everything else but black, but African. He was on the live, you know what I'm saying? And I said, yo, listen, this conversation needs to be had. It really needs to be had, bro. I'm seeing it too much. I'm hearing it too much. People are comfortable with being everything else but black. They want to attach themselves to everything else but African and black. Listen to what the man said. So many of us find excuses to get out the Negro race because we are led to believe that the race is unworthy and that it has not accomplished anything, which is lies. You know what? I'm going to go back and I'm going to start showing the Africans and what they contributed to this world. All the inventors, all the women, all the men, all those geniuses. I'm going to go back and I'm going to start. I'm going to try and do it on Thursday. Yeah, I'm going to try and do it on Thursday. Don't hold me to that. I need to do a day when it's just, this is what I'm talking about. Every single, all the time, every week, I'm going to it. I'm going to it. I'm going to it. I'm going to try to commit to that at least 2 or 3 times a month. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I need to get back to that. He says, so many of us find excuses. That's not highlight. Yeah, right there. So many of us find excuses to get out the Negro race because we are led to believe that the race is unworthy and that it has not accomplished anything. He said, cowards that we are. Cowards that we are. It is we who are unworthy because we are not contributing to uplift and upbuilding of the noble race. Man, talk to him. Come on, man. Somebody needed to hear this. Oh, somebody needed to hear this. Whether they watch the replay or they watch the live. Somebody needed to hear this. The man said, cowards that we are. It is we who are unworthy because we are not contributing to the uplift and upbuilding of a noble race. If you know your history, oh, we are a noble race. Nobody's left unscathed of being perfect. Nobody. No race. No. But if you look and weigh what the black man has contributed to this world, math, science, technology, what are we even talking about? What are we even doing right now? All the inventions. What are we talking about, man? Come on now. Hey, if we really want to get into it, we can get into it. The man is right. The man is right. He says, how dare anyone tell us that Africa cannot be redeemed when we have 400 million men and women with warm blood coursing through their veins. The power that holds Africa. He said the power that holds Africa is not divine. That means the enemy that is against Africa is not divine. He says the power that holds Africa is human, and it is recognized that whosoever man has done, man can do. So basically, we are equal. Our oppressors are men. They are just men. Our colonizers are just men. They are not God. They are not divine. So whatever it is they have done, we can undo. The philosophies and opinions of Mosiah Garvey. This man was powerful, man. What? We of the Negro race are moving from one state of organization to another, and we shall so continue until we have thoroughly lifted ourselves into the organization of government. I want to read that again. He says, we of the Negro race are moving from one state of organization to another, and we shall so continue until we have thoroughly lifted ourselves into the organization of government. We got to establish our own in every way of a civilized society. This is what the man is saying. Just us, we, 100%. Nobody behind us controlling our leaders like puppets, like what Mr. Ibrahim Choi is doing in Burkina Faso, like the president of Mali is doing, like the president of Niger is doing. All of them together, coming together. These military-led men that are presidents of their country. That's what he's doing. So you can't say it can't be done. It's being done. It's done. All you got to do is believe and act on that belief. He said, be as proud of your race today as our fathers were in the days of yore. We have a beautiful history, facts, and we shall create another in the future that will astonish the world. Man, listen. Listen. These are the words of Marcus Garvey. The philosophies and opinions. Right? He said, woman, what the night is to the day, woman is to man. Dang. That's a great way to say we opposites, boy. The period of change that bring us light out of the darkness, all right, and darkness out of the light, and semi-light of the darkness are like the changes we find in woman day by day. She makes one happy, then miserable. God damn. You are to her kind, then unkind, constant yet inconstant. Thus we have woman. No real man can do without her. Boy, listen, hey, ain't nothing else needed to be said. Hey, keep it simple. Hey, Marcus Garvey kept it simple on that one, boy. Marcus kept it simple. He said, love, a happy but miserable state in which man finds himself from time to time. Sometimes he believes he is happy by loving. Then suddenly he finds how miserable he is. It is all joy. It is sweet, it's sweetness life, but it does not last. It comes and goes, but when it is active, there is no greater virtue. Because it makes one supremely happy, we cannot hold our love, but there is one love that never changes or is mistaken. That is God's love. Damn. The longer we hold our love, the nearer we approach light unto our Creator. So that means the longer we maintain our love, we become even closer to God. The world is run on bluff. No race, no nation, no man has a divine right to take advantage of the others. Man, say that again. No race, no nation, no man has the divine right to take advantage of the other. Why allow other fellow to bluff you? He's telling his people, yo, these people God don't stand for this. They don't have no divine right. All you got to do is stand up and defend yourself. All right? God is not with them. All right? They don't have no power behind them more than you. Y'all share the same power. So why are you allowing them to oppress you? This man was really shaping people's minds, boy. I'm telling you. That's why his movement was so strong. He said, every student of the political science, every student of economics knows that the race can only be saved through solid industrial foundation, and that the race can only be saved through political independence. Take away industry from a race, take away political freedom from a race, and you have a group of slaves. Goodness gracious. Come on, man. Can somebody in the church say amen? Can somebody say amen? Can I get an amen? People everywhere are traveling towards industrial opportunities and greater political freedom. As a race oppressed, it is for us to prepare ourselves that at any time the greater change in industrial freedom and political liberty comes about, we may be able to enter into the new era as a partaker of the joys to be inherited. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, my good people, it is time. All right, lagging behind in a van of civilization will not prove higher abilities. Yo, come on, baby. Come on, man. Say that again. I don't think y'all hear me though. You know how people talk about they bourgeoisie and civilized. He said lagging behind in a bed of civilization will not prove our higher abilities. Being subservient to the will and caprice of progressive races. I said what? Progressive races. Who are progressive people? Who are the progressives? Careful now. Hey, listen to what he's saying now. Being subservient to the will and caprice of progressive races will not prove anything superior in us. We gotta stand up. You heard me? Charles Miss 504. We gotta stand up. Being satisfied to drink of the dregs from the cup of human progress will not determine our fitness as a people to exist alongside of others. But when of our own initiative we strike out to build industries, governments, and ultimately empires, then and only then will we as a race of people prove to our Creator and to man in general that we are fit to survive and capable of shaping our own destiny. God damn. Woo! Wow. It is time to get up and work, man. It is time to get up and collectively put in that work and organizing, structure, right? Building industries, governments, empires, right? They say if your dream ain't scaring you, you're not dreaming big enough. Look at this man's mind and how he was looking at our people and how he's thinking. The philosophies and opinions of Mosiah Garvey takes you in the mind of the man. And look at the time that he lived in, right? He said the world ought to know that it could not keep 400 million Negroes down forever. He keeps stressing that. There is strength in numbers. If we are unified, they can't do shit. And they know it. This is why they keep us, they do whatever they need to do to keep us arguing with each other on the internet, right? And promoting those arguments. They'll never promote black people building with each other. You know what they're going to do? They're going to do everything in their power to make sure they separate or tear down that organization. Remember I did the video yesterday of how they tore down Mosiah Garvey's organization with what? One letter of alleged fraud of $25 US. So Jesus, according to the Bible, was sold out for 30 pieces of silver. And Mosiah Garvey was sent to prison for $25 US. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? $25 US, y'all. 25. He says, there's always a turning point in destiny of every race, every nation, and of all people. And we have come now to the turning point of the Negro, where we have changed from the old, cringing weakling and transformed into a full-grown man, demanding our portion as men. Demanding our portion. I am not one of those Christians who believe that the Bible can solve all the problems of humanity. The Bible is good in its place. But we are men. We are the creators of God. We have sinned against him. Therefore, it takes more than the Bible to keep us in our places. Man is becoming so vile that today we cannot afford to convert him with moral, ethical, physical truths alone. Man, this man ain't never lied. Yo, you know how long ago this was written? And this applies to right now? I'm going to read that again. The man said, He's not one of those Christians who believe that the Bible can solve all problems of humanity. The Bible is good in its place, but we are men. We are creatures of God. We have sinned against him. Therefore, it takes more than the Bible to keep us in our places. Men are becoming so vile. I said again, men are becoming so vile that today we cannot afford to convert him with moral and ethical, physical truths alone, but with that which is more effective implements of destruction. Right? Look at the people we deal with on YouTube in our sector, on that side, right? The undesirables. You think you can talk, me talking to them about morals, ethics, and values, and bro, they piss and shit on that. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They want to be vile, nasty, cruel, evil, and wicked, doxing kids, talking about dead parents, dead people's dead family. They have no moral compass. None. No ethical compass. None. And no matter how you bring the truth in front of them and you bring the mirror up, guess what? It don't work. They're going to spin that like, I don't know, a spin doctor. They're going to come with word salad. They're going to deflect. He goes on to say leadership means everything. Pain, blood, and death. Man, Marcus Garvey understood the mission. You hear me? He understood the mission. To be prosperous in whatever we do is the sign of true wealth. We may be wealthy in not only having money, but in spirit and health. It is the most helpful agency towards a self-satisfying life. One lives in an age like this, nearer perfection by being wealthy than by being poor. To the contented soul, wealth is the stepping stone to perfection. To the miser, I said miser, what the hell? To the miser, it is the nearest avenue to hell. Dang. I would prefer to be honest, wealthy, than miserable and poor. Man, say that. Say that. Say that. To be free from temptation of other people's prosperity, prosperity is to reflect the honesty of our own souls. There are but a few really honest people in that between the thought and the deed we make ourselves dishonest. The fellow who steals acts dishonest. What? The fellow who steals and acts dishonestly. We can steal in thought as well, indeed. Yeah, the Bible says the person that steals in their mind or commits sins in their mind is actually worse than the person that actually commits the sin. Like, it is like a toss-up, right? I think I came across something like that, right? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. He says, we can steal in thought as well, indeed. Therefore, to be honest is a virtue, but few indulge. To be honest is to be satisfied, having all, wanting nothing. If you find yourself in such a state, then you are honest. If not, the temptation of your soul is bound to make you dishonest. This applies to the king and the peasant alike. Shit. So it don't matter it don't matter what class you are, you're just a man. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You can fall short of those temptations. All people are struggling to blast a way through the industrial monopoly of races and nations. But the Negro as a whole has failed to grasp its true significance and seems to delight in filling only that place created for him by the white man. Damn, talk about it. Talk about it. We just comfortable having leftovers, man. We just comfortable having leftovers. He said the Negro who lives on patronage and philanthropics is the most dangerous member of our society. The Negro that lives on patronage of philanthropics. Is that philanthropics or philanthropics? Is the most dangerous member of the society because he is willing to turn back the clock of progress when his benefactors ask him to do so. No race in the world is so just as to give others. No race in the world is so just as to give others for the asking a square deal in things economic, political, and social. Men who are earnest are not afraid of consequences. Damn. Men who are earnest. You know I'm going to the dictionary. You know I'm going to the dictionary. Yeah, you already know. Alright? Resulting from or showing sincere and intense conviction. So a man with conviction are not afraid of consequences. We got Janet in the building. How you doing? Janet Mundy in the building. Salute. Marcus Garvey says men who are in earnest are not afraid of consequences. That means they're within their convictions. They see it clearly what needs to be done. So no consequences is going to stop them from achieving that goal. Yeah. He says no one knows when the hour of African redemption cometh. It is in the wind. It is coming one day. Like a storm, it will be here. When that day comes, all Africans will stand together. Boy, listen. I want to live to see it, boy. You just don't understand. Oh, I want to live to see that. I want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? Any sane man, race, or nation that desires freedom must first all think in terms of blood. Why even the Heavenly Father tells us that without the shedding of blood, there can be no remission of sin. Goodness gracious. These are the words and opinions, and these are the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. Then how in the name of God, with history before us, do we expect to redeem Africa without preparing ourselves, some of us, to die? Man, they don't want to hear that, bro. They don't want to hear that, bro. They not ready for that, Marcus. They not ready for that. They not ready for that. They not ready to sacrifice. Nah, B. They don't want to hear that, bro. Let me read that again. Any sane man, race, or nation that desires freedom must first of all think in terms of blood. Why even the Heavenly Father tells us without the shedding of blood, there can be no remission of sins. Then how in the name of God, with the history before us, do we expect to redeem Africa without preparing our lives, some of us, to die? Come on, man. Come on, man. Somebody talk to me in the chat now. Talk to me in the chat now. I pray to God that we shall never use our physical prowess to oppress the human race, but we will use our strength, physical, morally, and otherwise, to preserve humanity and civilization. For over 300 years, the white man has been our oppressor. He naturally is not going to liberate us to the higher freedom, the truer liberty, and the truer democracy We have to liberate ourselves. Come on, man. Truer words have never been spoken. Huh? Well, go on. Probably big up. Sorry about that. Family passing through, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, but true words have never been spoken, man. True words have never been spoken. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Man, I got a screenshot. Man, listen. What? What? No one knows the hour. The man said, I pray to God that we shall never use our prowess to oppress the human race, but we will use our strengths, physical, moral, and otherwise, to preserve humanity and civilization. For over 300 years, the white man has been our oppressor. He naturally is not going to liberate us. He ain't gonna give us that higher freedom, that truer liberty, that truer democracy. We gotta liberate ourselves. Man, I gotta screenshot that, boy. Yup, I'm taking that quote right there, boy. That's facts. That's facts. He says, all right, now, we can come up the screen. Every man has a right to his own opinion. Every race has a right to his own actions. Therefore, let no man persuade you against your will. Let no other race influence you against your own. I say that again. Let no other race influence you against your own. I say that again. Let no other race influence you against your own. The greater weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. Man, woo! Man, oh man. Marcus Garvey, boy. I wish I could hug this brother, man. I wish I could talk to him and tell him thank you, man. I ain't lying to you, man. Real talk. The greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. He ain't never lied. Look how hard it is for us to unite on some simple-ish. Simple. If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence, you have won even before you have started. That is one of the single greatest quote of Marcus Garvey. I say again, let me highlight this by itself. All right, let me highlight both of these. I got to screenshot both of these. The greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence, you have won even before you have started. Let's just use a small example. Brothers, you know this. When you approach a female, there's a big difference when you approach her with confidence and when you are timid. 9 out of 10 times when you approach her with confidence, oh, you're going to get immaculate results. But maybe 2 out of 10 times you approach a female and you kind of, you know what I'm saying, you don't got that energy. Yeah, you're going to be successful like 2 out of 10 times. And that's a fail. That's a fail. At no time within the last 500 years can one point to a single instance of the Negro as a race of haters. Oh man, listen, what? The Negro has loved even under severest punishment. Man, say that. Say that. Not at no time within the last 500 years can one point to a single instance of the Negro as a race of haters. Oh, we hate ourselves, but not nobody else. He's talking facts. The Negro has loved even under severest punishment. In slavery, the nigger loved his master. He safeguarded his own even when he further planned to enslave him. We are not a race of haters, but lovers of humanity. And I've said this before. That was one of our downfalls in Africa. We were too welcoming. We were too welcoming. All right? We allowed the devil to come within our ranks. Why do you think I'm the way I am on the internet and my platform? Man, I don't want no devil over here. When you get your mind right, when you really get your mind right, yeah, but your mind ain't right. I don't want no devil over here. Stay wherever you are. I'm not coming where you are. I won't be in your chats. Stay over there. All right, I'm not tolerating it. I'm not allowing it. Right? I'm me. I'm not nobody else. Let me just say that. All right? It says, wait a minute. Mob violence and injustice have never helped a race or a nation. Because of this knowledge, as gathered from the events of ages, we as a people in this new age desire to love all mankind, not in a social sense, but in keeping with the divine injunction. Man, love thy brother. This man's quoting the Bible. He's quoting the Bible. God said, man, love thy brother. So he's saying, yeah, we love all mankind, not in a social sense, but in keeping with the divine injunction. He said preparedness is the watchword of this age. For us as a race to remain as we have been in the past, divided among ourselves, Parachiltizing. Yo, I don't know what the hell that word means. Parachiltizing? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Parachiltizing meaning. Dang. I've never seen that word before. Ain't I? Parachiltizing. Am I spelling it right? Parachiltizing. Parachiltizing. That's the actual word. Parachiltizing. That's it. Why am I not seeing? Okay, I gotta go here. It's a verb. To work in a parish. That's it. You must. Okay. I ain't gonna stop there. Okay. Insuralizing and nationalizing our activities as a subject and citizen of the many alien races and governments under which we live. It is but to hold ourselves in readiness for the great catastrophe that is bound to come, that of racial extermination at the hand of the stronger race, the race that will be fit to survive. So he's saying we got to be prepared for the worst, pretty much, of other races, you know, stronger races that has power and all that stuff, trying to eliminate, you know, us, especially us. And what is going on? If y'all really paying attention with the food, the water, and everything, healthcare, pandemics, what if you really pay attention, like what's been going on, right? We got Rachel Banks in the building. What's going on, love? We going over the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. I'm not sure if you're aware of Marcus Garvey, but hey, if you like to learn, stick around. Humanity takes revenge and crime from one age to the next, according to the growth and development of the race so afflicted, but the perpetuation of crime through revenge and retaliation will not save the human race. The perpetuation of crime through revenge and retaliation will not save the human race. I agree. The eye for an eye thing, everybody eye gonna be plucked out. Europe is bankrupt today, and every nation within her bounds is endeavoring to find new openings, new fields for exploitation. That exploitation that will bring them to the resources, the revenue, the power necessary for their rehabilitation and well-being. We are living in a strenuous, active age when men see, not through the spectacles of sympathy, but demand that each and everyone's measure is up proportioned to the world's demands for service. The attitude of the white race is to subjugate and to exploit, and if necessary, exterminate the weaker people with whom they come in contact. And see, I don't want anybody to feel no type of way. This is historical. This man is talking from a perspective of what was happening in this time when black people was feeling it to the core in terms of being hung. They were great. I'm talking about all manners of evil was done to us. So this is the spectacle to which Marcus Garvey was looking through. You know what I'm saying? He says the attitude of the white race is to subjugate, to exploit, and if necessary, exterminate the weaker peoples with whom they come in contact with. The subjugate first, if the weaker people will stand for it. Then exploit, and if they will not stand for subjugation nor exploitation, the other recourse is extermination. Damn! Submit, be exploited, or die. That was the order in which things was going on. Facts. If the Negro is not careful, he will drink in all poison of modern civilization and die from the effects. Jesus Christ. Yeah, listen. There's a lot of quotes that I'm screenshotting right now. Damn. Whew. Lord have mercy. He ain't never lied. There can be no peace among men and nations, so as long as the strongest continue to oppress the weak. Facts. As long as the strongest race oppresses the weak, there can be no peace. So as long as injustice is done to other people, just as long as will we have cause for war and make lasting make a lasting peace an impossibility. Hungry men have no respect for law, authority, or human life. I say that again. Hungry men have no respect for law, authority, or human life. I'm not opposed to the white race as charged by my enemies. So he's saying, you say that I hate the white race, but I'm not opposed to them. No. He said, I have no time for hate. I don't have time to hate anyone. All my time is devoted to upbuilding and developing the Negro race. That's all the man wants to do. His only focus is to build the Negro race. But he's not stupid. He understands that there are forces out there that don't want to see the Negro race build. So therefore, he knows that at some point, some of our lives are going to be lost in effort to upbuild and develop the Negro race. Because we're going to face opposition. It is common sense. It's logical. You don't go out all the time or anytime if you're wise seeking a fight. No. But what you got to do is prepare for a fight. So when a fight comes, oh, you ready. You ain't slipping. You heard me? If they left us alone, so we could do us and prosper and grow and have our Black Wall Street and all that we was building, there would be no need for conflict. But they don't want that. So they infiltrate, right? They get these Judases to infiltrate if they can. Or they use force. The game has changed right now. If they use force, they hide it, right? Yeah, they hide it because you have the world looking now, right? Oh, how can this country be involved in this? They have these things that they sign of code of conduct as countries around the world, so they can't be caught being involved in certain things publicly. Let me say that, right? He says, I have no time. I only have time to upbuild and develop the Negro race. When nations outgrow their national limits, they make war and conquer other people's territory so as to have outlets for their surplus population. Man, say that again. The world does not count races and nations that have nothing. Point me to a weak nation and I will show you a people oppressed, abused, and taken advantage of by others. Show me a weak race and I will show you a people reduced to serfdom, peonage, and slavery. Show me a well-organized nation and I will show you a people and a nation respected by the world. By the what? Man, listen. How much time I've been on here? I've been on here 1 hour and 22 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to do my normal 2 hours and then I am going to close out until part 2. Because this is a lot. This is 64 pages. The world does not count races and nations that have nothing. Oh, no. That's where I was? No. Yeah, right here. The battles of the future, whether they be physical or mental, will be fought on a scientific line. The race that is able to produce the highest scientific development is the race that will ultimately rule. Ladies and gentlemen, which race is the most technological race? That is, actively like forward in technology. When KB said trading and coding in schools, when KB, man, shout out to KB, man. When KB said trading and coding in schools, it kind of went over some people's head, the significance of what he was saying. And when we say this man's channel is being attacked, people say, oh no, you're just crying because you're dumb. Because you don't have sense. You understand? You're slow when you say that. You're ignorant. You heard what Marcus Garvey said? He understood this. He understood this years ago. The battle of the future, whether it be physical or mental, will be fought on scientific lines. The race that is able to produce the highest scientific development is the race that will ultimately rule. Goodness. Exactly, Miss Collins. Exactly. They right on their way. Let us prepare today for tomorrow. And see, this is what I'm trying to tell people. All of these races, they respect Marcus Garvey. They read this. Half of our people has never even heard a quote from Marcus Garvey. They ain't read none of this. They didn't even look it up. I'm telling you. He said, let us prepare for tomorrow. Let us prepare today For the tomorrows in the lives of the nation will be so eventful that Negroes everywhere will be called upon to play their part in the survival of the fittest, of the survival of the fittest human group. Let us in shaping our destiny set before us the qualities of human justice, love, charity, mercy, and equity. Upon such foundation, let us build a race, and I feel that God, who is divine, the Almighty, the Creator of the world, shall forever bless this race of ours, and who to tell that we shall not teach men the way of life, liberty, and true human happiness? Question mark. So day by day we hear the cry of Africa for the Africans. This cry has become a positive, determined one. It is a cry that is raised simultaneously to the world over because of the universal oppression that affects the Negro. It says day by day we hear the cry of the African and the Africans. This cry has become a positive, determined one. It is a cry that is raised simultaneously over the world because of the universal oppression that affects the Negro. All of us may not live to see the higher accomplishments of an African empire, so strong and powerful as to compel the respect of mankind. But we in our lifetime can so work and act as to make the dream a possibility within another generation. I am going to stop right there. Next, I don't know how these people stay online so long and, like, you know what I'm saying? And talking. Man, my mouth getting dry just reading all this shit. Well, not shit. This is definitely positive. All of this gospel right here. My mouth getting dry. I need water. I got water right there, but damn. I'm gonna read chapter 2 on my next one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if nobody in the building wanna call in. The number is right there. Or if you want me to drop the StreamYard link for you. Let me know. Shout out to Marcus Garvey, man. Happy birthday, man. Thank you for your words of encouragement and upliftment to have us act and move and be the best version of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Marcus Garvey, man. This man, what? This man, mad powerful, man. Mad powerful, and everything he's saying, like, you can't even argue none of that. If you apply what he's saying to every race is gonna agree. If you apply the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey to any race, that race is going to agree because it makes sense, because it's facts. You know what I'm saying? We got Miss Collins over here, right? Rachel Banks over here. We got Janet Mundy over here. We got Melly Mel was in the building. Got Deja Vu. Who else we got over here? Kayon. Kayon, I know you. If you available, you gonna call in. So the number is right there. Let me drop the StreamYard link real quick. I got a little bit of time. I got like a half an hour left. Usually I do a 2-hour thing. So you know what I'm saying? I got a little half an hour left. You know what I'm saying? I could just chill for the rest of the day. My Sunday fun day type of vibes. You know what I'm saying? Just kick it. You know. But I definitely wanted to to come on here and touch on the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey. There's no way I could go through the whole book in one day. 64 pages. It was not going to happen, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing it in parts, multiple parts, right? So yeah, let me drop this StreamYard link. Whoa! Like, what the hell going on?
Future of Burkina Faso, President Ibrahim.
Shout out to President Ibrahim Choi. What? Piega la cheer for your pain. Marcus Garvey was definitely an amazing human being, man. Wasn't a perfect human being. That's a powerful brother right there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's no joke. He's no joke. Thank you for the 14 that hit the like button. Appreciate that. I'm going over here and dropping this right here. My own goddamn.
At the end of World War I, the war power.
Yep. Sorry, he's no joke. He's no joke. I ain't gonna go through no preface. Chapter 1. History in the landmark by which we are directed into the true course of life. The history of a movement, the history of a nation, the history of a race is the guidepost of that movement's destination. The nation's destiny, the race destiny, let me read that again. The history of a movement, the history of a nation, the history of a race is the guidepost of that movement's destiny. That nation's destiny and that race's destiny. So he's saying that the history of the movement of the nation is like the foundation, is that column that holds up the building. You know what I'm saying? That holds up the race. What you do today that is worthwhile inspires others to act at some future time. I'm gonna say that. Yo, that right there, that first one alone is worth reminding people of. Right? I'm still waiting on somebody to call in or hit the link. But that right there, focusing on what you do on a daily basis that is contributing to the development of your race. Focusing on that. Being intentional. There's a lot of things you could do. Maybe it's pouring it into your child, pouring knowledge into your niece. Maybe it's just you being an upstanding, positive example for everybody that's around you, your family, your co-workers, all of that. It may be that. It may be that. And again, what you do today, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. What you do today, that is worthwhile, key, that is worthwhile. How are we using our time? Right? Is the stuff you're doing not worthwhile? Is it unnecessary? Is it necessary? Is it helping to create generational wealth? Is it helping to secure the future of your children, your children's children, and so on and so forth? So what you do today that is worthwhile inspires others to act at some future time. So this is the mindset of this brother, Mr. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He said, chance has never yet satisfied the hope of suffering people. I'm gonna say that again. Chance has never yet satisfied the hope of a suffering people. Chance, like leaving things to chance. He says action, self-reliance, the vision of self, the future. All right. Can I? Oh yeah, there we go. I'm gonna highlight it for y'all. Action, self-reliance, the vision of self, and the future have been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of their own freedom. So you can't leave anything to chance. You gotta be action-based. This is a part of the philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey.
You gotta have vision of self. You gotta see yourself in that place.
Gotta get up and go, baby. You gotta get up and go. Telling you, man.
Where you are elevated, where you are free, where you are prosperous, where your kids are prosperous. You're looking at your grandkids. You gotta visualize all that. Right? It's gotta be in the mind first. He says the future have been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of
Shout
their
out
own
tonight,
freedom.
bud.
Life. He says life is that existence that is given to man to live for a purpose. For what? A purpose. To live his own satisfaction and pleasure, providing he forgets not God who created him and who expects a spiritual obedience and observation of moral laws that he has inspired. Basically, there's no life without God. Yes, you are free to satisfy yourself, pleasure yourself, right? Providing that you don't forget about the codes, the law.
Man, I want y'all to notice how quickly he put God in the mix of all of this, in his philosophies and opinion. I want you to pay attention to how much that was right at the top. Right at the top. Alright?
Laws of God. This is the opinions of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He says there is nothing in the world common to man that man cannot do. Right? The ends you serve that are selfish will take you no further than yourself. I'll say that again. The ends you serve that are selfish will no longer. No, he said this. The ends you serve that are selfish will take you no further than yourself. But the ends you serve that are for all in common will take you even into eternity. I'm always talking about the collective. All right, I'm always talking about how things affect everybody. This is why I do the content I do about the leaders of our country. The moment I realize that their actions affect us in a way, I say, wow, I can't just, you know what I'm saying, not say anything, right? And give my opinion. And hopefully, you know, it reaches enough people that it needs to reach, or it reaches the people it needs to reach, so we can have real change.
Right.
So what I'm doing on here is not just for me. It's really this is my legacy. This is what I'm doing right here is part of my legacy. It's a big part of my legacy. This is my philosophies and opinions I'm leaving on this platform. That's why I'm very serious about it. Right? So he says, it's only the belief and the confidence we have in God why man is able to understand his own social institutions and move and live like a rational human being. He says it's only the belief and the confidence we have in God why man is able to understand his own social institutions and move and live like a rational human being.
So when a man eliminates God from his consciousness and he has no belief or no fear of God or no respect for God, yeah, you know it's chaotic. You know it's chaos.
To his point, can you imagine if God was not in the consciousness of man? Can you imagine how cruel and vicious all men would be? Just imagine the world without a consciousness of right or wrong.
I believe that man would be even more vicious than animals because they'd be way smarter. I believe a few species in this earth would be extinct. I really do. Just imagine if God was not in man's consciousness. That's scary shit right there.
And anything goes. Just imagine that for a second. Ladies, I'm sure you're already scared because physically, you're at a disadvantage. The same men that would be protecting you would be taking full advantage of y'all. I'm talking about it would be ugly. Right? He said, take away the highest ideal, faith, confidence in God, and mankind at large is reduced to savagery and the race destroyed. These are facts. These are facts. Total chaos, Miss Collins.
All the way.
He says a race without authority and power is a race without respect. The next opinion, criticism. He says criticism is an opinion for good or ill, generally indulged in by the fellow who knows more than anyone else, yet the biggest fool. He said criticism is generally indulged in by the fool who knows more than anyone else, yet the biggest fool. The fellow who knows more than anyone else but the biggest fool. Boy, he ain't never lied, boy. He ain't never lied. You know those people that act like they can't learn nothing from nobody? Like they just know everything? Yeah, that's what we talking about. That's what we talking about. He said, criticism is an opinion. No, there is no criticism that calls not forth yet another. There is no criticism that calls not forth yet another. The last critic is the biggest fool of all. The world starts and ends with him. He is the source of all knowledge, yet knows nothing. But there is not a word one finds to use that there is not another that hath the same meaning. Then wherefore do we criticize? Damn. Next page. He said, fear. Fear is a state of nervousness fit for children, not men. When men fears a creature like himself, he offends God. Oh my goodness. I want all of my people in Jamaica to hear that. Everybody in Jamaica. Fear is a state of nervousness fit for children, not men. When man fears a creature like himself, he offends God. You know, when I went to high school, I had that growth spurt and I got tall and stuff. And then, I was always a powerful looking brother. You know what I'm saying? For my age. And women or even dudes will always like fear me or whatever. I never had a bad look at my face, like, you know what I'm saying? I was no bully or nothing. I wasn't projecting that. But because of their own insecurities or whatever, I always told them, like, yo, don't fear me, man. I'm just a man just like you. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a human being. Like, there's no way you should fear me. Fear God. I don't get that type of respect. You know what I'm saying? That's why even, in real life, when people be saying things, I'm like, okay. Like, people be saying crazy stuff to me. I'm like, so in my mind, I'm like, so what? Is that supposed to be intimidating or something? Again, I'm not a tough guy. I'm just like, for real though, what? That individual that think they all that in a bag of chips and they just this tough person, they could walk away from me and in 30 seconds fall down and die. And nobody know, you know what I'm saying? Like, just naturally. And we don't know what happened to him. That could happen. That is a possibility. No man knows the hour. No man knows the hour when it's your time. You don't know what's going on in your body. I mean, shit. Man, listen, there's a brother that I know that was in entertainment. He slipped and fell. This is the story. He slipped and fell in his bathroom. He hit his head and he died in his house because he lives alone. And nobody was there or could access his own on time to like check on him. Nobody was regularly going to check. He's a young man, right? But he died like that. According to the story, he died like that. That was the report. Slipped, hit his head, and that was it. So why should we fear anybody, man? We are dust. We are dirt. We come from the soil. That's why when we go ashes to ashes, dust to, you go back to it from whence you came. We come from the soil. When you die, there is a decomposition that goes forth, the physical decomposition, because the energy and the spirit is not there anymore. So I'm saying, why fear man? Bob Marley said, don't fear man because they don't control the time. I played the song yesterday. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, cause none of them can stop the time. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand aside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We've got to fulfill the book. Won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? Is all I ever ask. Redemption songs, all I ever ask. Redemption songs. These songs of freedom. You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't fear their atomic energy. They can't stop the time. Time is constant. God is constant. You heard me? So why should you fear man? As powerful as these elites are and they moving the needle, I'm telling you, that power is so fickle, bro. It can be lost like this. It is that easy. They have a saying in Jamaica: the higher the monkey climb, the more his ASS is exposed. Bolo, the Jamaican songbird. Oh, I sound that good? Shit. Thank you so much, Miss Collins. Thank you so much. I ain't never know I sound that. Hey, I don't think I can sing like that now. But thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But I'ma end it off there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna be chilling. My peeps just came out. I'm wondering if he's still here. My uncle, one of my uncles, just came a while ago. Yeah, I'm wondering if he's still here. She said 100%. Man, you sweeten me up, Miss Collins. You too sweet. You too nice. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Alright, like, share, subscribe. Look out for part 2, 3, 4, 5 of the Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, a tribute to the legend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Definitely. I get excited reading these types of stuff. My wish is to find people that are excited about this as much as I am on this platform. I want to find y'all. I'm going to find y'all. God in time. God in time. Salute to everybody, man. Love you, Miss Collins. Yo, have a good, wonderful Sunday. All right. Maintain your peace. All right. All y'all. Y'all have a